Hello brothers and sisters, welcome to another episode here on Dangerous African Confessions HD. In the heart of Africa, where faith and culture intertwine, stories of hope and despair often emerge. In this episode, we delve into the heartbreaking journey of a young pastor from Tanzania who found himself in the shadow of a revered bishop from Ghana. This conversation is by a close friend of the young pastor. She unveils the darker side of faith, ambition, and the price one pays for destiny. To get to know what really happened and understand what our sister wants to share with us, let us go and listen to this message. And don't forget to please subscribe, like and share this video so others can listen to it as well. And also hit the notification bell, so you will be notified anytime we upload videos of this nature.
Brother, in our hometown in Tanzania, Emmanuel, who happens to be my very close friend, had gained a reputation for his passionate sermons and unwavering faith. His charisma often attracted the youth in the town. So, he had many youths as his followers. Emma, as I used to call him, had a dream of one day having his own youth ministry. His passion and attention were just for the youth of our area. And his dreams of having his ministry burned bright. As such, he goes to conferences and seminars that are organized by these senior pastors in the Christian faith. Sometimes, he will fight me to learn from him. So, in order to prevent his constant fight, I sometimes do go to these conferences with him. It was during a regional church conference that Emmanuel's life took a fateful turn. At that conference was where he was introduced to a prominent and respected bishop from Ghana. Emma came back and told me so much about this man. And even told me of how much he was known for his powerful preaching and miraculous healings, drawing a lot of people to his ministry. He said that, when he met the bishop, he felt an overwhelming sense of awe and inspiration. He said that they even had time to talk, where the two exchanged ideas. Emmanuel is someone full of potential, and you would definitely like him if he was to be here today. And so, when the bishop recognized Emmanuel's potential, he said the man told him that Emmanuel reminds him of his younger version. He said the man told him that he is someone who could carry the torch of faith into the future. You see, my brother, sometimes our inner self does talk to us so vividly. In a moment shrouded in secrecy, the bishop proposed a pact. He said that Emmanuel would dedicate his life to the bishop's vision, and in return, he would receive blessings beyond measure. When Emmanuel told me this, it didn't sit well with me. Reason is that he didn't know the man too well to dedicate his whole life to him. So, I tried to talk him out of becoming his kind of student. But because he felt the man could lead him to greater heights, he didn't understand my concerns and decided to give the idea of the bishop a go. You see, as a childhood friend of Emmanuel, I had always admired his passion for the faith. I watched him grow from a hopeful young man into a respected pastor in our community, only to see him fall into despair. To be very much honest with you, I feel a deep sense of loss and helplessness anytime I set my eyes on my friend, and I pray something happen for him. I mean, some kind of restoration happens for him. Having once shared dreams of spreading the gospel together, I always grapple with feelings of guilt for not being able to save him from the clutches of manipulation and betrayal. And that is why I find it necessary to talk to you about his life, so that others out there can have some sort of discernment in spiritual leadership when they come across them. And I use any chance I get to warn others about the potential dangers lurking behind charismatic figures. You see, what began as a mentorship quickly spiraled into something sinister. Underneath the surface of admiration lay a darker motive. The bishop, driven by a desire for greater influence and power within the Christian faith, saw Emmanuel not just as a protégé but as a pawn in his grand design. Emmanuel, eager to fulfill his calling and gain the bishop's favor, agreed without fully understanding the implications. What he didn't realize was that his destiny was being manipulated as a sacrifice to elevate bishop's status. You see, I remember when Emmanuel told me that he was traveling to Ghana to meet the bishop. Because the man said he was organizing some program and would love him to be there. To him, it was such an honor to be invited by such a personality to a program. And so, nothing was going to stop him from going. I did my best to stop him, but then again, H didn't listen to me, and so he traveled to Ghana. He spoke of how whilst in Ghana, the bishop had initially given him promises of spiritual empowerment and divine favor. Emmanuel told me that the man told him that, to truly serve God and lead others, he needed to make sacrifices. He again told him that great leaders are forged through trials, and that I was destined for greatness. At first, he said the sacrifices seemed innocuous: longer hours of prayer, fasting, and dedicating more time to the church. However, as he became more entwined with the bishop, the rituals grew increasingly bizarre and demanding. Emmanuel described to me how the bishop instructed him to participate in night vigils that lasted for hours. Under the guise of seeking divine revelation, these vigils often involved chanting incantations and invoking spirits. He recalled feeling a strange energy during these sessions, but it was accompanied by an unsettling sense of fear. The atmosphere was thick, he said. I felt like we were calling upon forces beyond our understanding. But in all this, after every session of the rituals, the bishop will explain to him and offer some sense of comfort to him. And let him know the need to go through everything which will see him becoming so mighty in the faith. Not thinking bad for him because of his status in the faith, he will agree and continue. One of the most chilling sacrifices he said was done was that he was asked to bring a small animal, a goat, to the church. Under the bishop's guidance, he participated in a ceremony where the animal was sacrificed in a ritual meant to cleanse him of impurities and empower his ministry. Emmanuel told me this as tears was rolling down his cheeks. He said, I thought it was just a symbolic act. I remember vividly when he said this, his hands trembling, and then he held my hand firmly. For the first time in my friend's life of knowing him, he told me he was scared. You see, Emmanuel spent 3 months in Ghana with the bishop before returning back home. He said the most harrowing moment came when the bishop proposed a formal pact, a binding agreement that would connect Emmanuel's faith to his own ministry. He said, in a dimly lit room filled with candles, they stood before an altar adorned with symbols of power. Emmanuel was instructed to write down his deepest desires and fears on a piece of paper and then burn it as an offering. He told me that process felt like he was giving away pieces of his soul, but he believed it was necessary for his calling. As the days turned into weeks, Emmanuel said that the bishop encouraged him to fast for extended periods, claiming that it would heighten his spiritual sensitivity. During this fast, Emmanuel would often retreat to a secluded area in the church grounds where he would spend days alone, praying and reflecting. But instead of clarity, he found himself plagued by visions and voices that whispered doubts and fears. As these rituals continued, he said that he noticed changes within himself. The vibrant passion that once fueled him was replaced by an overwhelming sense of dread. He began experiencing vivid nightmares filled with dark figures and ominous warnings. The weight of the bishop's expectations bore down on him, leaving him feeling trapped in a labyrinth of his own making. My friend painfully told me that he thought that he was becoming closer to God. But instead, I lost myself completely. The blurring lines between faith and fear began to unravel his sanity. To tell you what I felt that day, it was a profound sorrow for my friend. I had witnessed his transformation from a hopeful leader to a man tormented by unseen forces. He kept on saying that he thought he was chosen for something great, but all he found was despair. As time passed, Emmanuel's mental state deteriorated. The weight of expectations and the feeling of being used took a toll on him. He began to exhibit signs of paranoia and delusion, convinced that he was being watched and controlled by unseen forces. My friend, who was this lively and his once vibrant sermons turned into incoherent rants, leaving most of the youth that followed him confused and concerned. Emmanuel suffered a complete mental breakdown. The bright-eyed young pastor who once inspired many was now lost in his thoughts, wandering the streets aimlessly. His dreams had turned into nightmares, and he has become a shadow of his former self. For now, He is at the rehab and nothing good is happening with him. But before I go, let me say this. These people's mentorship sessions are grand affairs, often held in large auditoriums or sprawling church complexes adorned with colorful banners and uplifting slogans. Young pastors from various backgrounds flock to these events, eager to learn from a man who claimed to have divine insights into church leadership. The atmosphere is often electric, filled with music, praise, and an overwhelming sense of community. This is always what gets the young ones to partake in the conferences. Each gathering begins with elaborate opening ceremonies that features dynamic worship sessions led by talented musicians. The senior bishops and mentors would deliver an impassioned sermon, drawing on scripture and personal anecdotes to inspire the audience. They often speak of the importance of sacrifice, dedication, and the need for young leaders to be willing to give everything for their calling. Following the opening ceremonies, attendees participate in workshops that covers various aspects of ministry, from preaching techniques to community outreach strategies. These sessions are designed to empower young pastors, yet they often include subtle indoctrination into the senior bishop's ideology. Most at times, attendees are encouraged to adopt a mindset of unwavering loyalty to their mentors. The gatherings also serve as networking events where aspiring pastors could connect with established leaders. However, these interactions are sometimes carefully orchestrated by the bishops and their inner circle. Young pastors are often paired with mentors who have been handpicked for their potential to carry out the bishop's agenda. You see how they operate, while the public face of these gatherings as one of hope and inspiration, behind closed doors, a different reality unfolds. The bishop will gradually introduce his victims to what he owes allegiance to. So please, don't be fooled by blind faith in anyone. I have someone lost it all. It can be you also. So, please be vigilant in your ways with anyone who comes your way promising you of knowing the Creator. Our dear Lord Jesus told us to be very vigilant because they come in sheep clothing, but beneath that, they are wolves. I hope Emmanuel's life will be a lesson to you all. Thank you.
Don't forget to please subscribe, share and like our videos. Kindly hit the notification bell so you will be the first to get notification to our videos when we upload. Indeed, I will start by saying that life and the very essence of this precious gift is not about how well or how much money you were able to acquire. Nor it is about how influential you become in this material world. I will say that Emmanuel's journey serves as a stark reminder of how easily one can be led astray in pursuit of power and recognition. I hope that this will be a lesson etched in the hearts of those who dare to tread the fine line between faith and fanaticism. In the end, this reminds us that while faith can uplift us, it can also lead us down dark paths if we are not careful about whom we choose to follow. Let this be a lesson for all. Stay grounded in your beliefs and remain vigilant against those who might exploit your dreams for their gain. Let us always use whatever small influence we have to raise awareness about the dangers of sacrificing one's integrity for fame or power and money. This story is shared in hopes of inspiring others who may find themselves at a crossroads between ambition, faith, mentorship, and morality. This should serve as a reminder that true success is not measured by accolades or recognition but by staying true to one's beliefs and values. When you have a deep connection with God and a commitment to uplifting others, you will find your purpose in this life, purpose beyond what fame could ever offer. We are only here to warn our brothers and sisters about the ways of the evil one amongst even the children of God. It is also not to suggest that any musician out there doing his work is of the evil one. But this is to tell you to be careful because a lot is going on in this world. Let your inner intuition talk to you when you listen to some of the songs out there. Please let us hear your thoughts in the comment section. I just hope that we honestly take the important lessons from these stories to better our lives and decisions. Stay blessed and be safe. Thanks for being a part of this growing family. Kindly share your thoughts with us in the comment section below. And if you are new here, please subscribe, like and share.